having trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, the name to remember.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
When I lay in my Tempur-Pedic contour, the next thing I know, it's morning.
With TemperFlex, you've got the spring and bounce of a traditional mattress. Then it also adjusts to my body.
My cloud feels like somebody's hugging you. How can a bed do that?
This year, change your life with Tempur-Pedic.
Hi, neighbor. You're selling your action figures. You love those.
Oh, my car needs a new window track, and the dealer wants a fortune. Time for desperate measures.
Don't pay crazy dealer prices when RockAuto.com has all the parts your car will ever need at half the price. Here's your window regulator. Pick the brand, click Add Part. It's easy.
With Rock Auto's low prices, I can fix my car and keep my action figures. And you too, Buster.
Rock Auto, all the parts your car will ever need.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
Meet Ron, a big guy with a big heart. His mom would agree. When Ron took her in, unexpected medical bills followed, and things got a little out of hand. That's when he reached out to Rise, with cash in your account as soon as tomorrow, and rates that go down over time, letting Ron focus on what matters most.
Seconds.
Rise, with $500 to $5,000 in your account. Tomorrow's looking up.
We now have proof that last summer's weather was just perfect in Minnesota. Farmers in the state produced more corn than any other year in history. Wow. Now, the U.S. Agriculture Department estimates the harvest at 1.4 billion bushels. 4% more than the previous state record set in 2012. Soybean growers in Minnesota also had a tremendous year, with 50 bushels an acre, the highest on record in the state. And now that the cold is here and crops are covered in snow, a different kind of business is beginning to boom.
There's a whole economy in northern states that depend on the bitter cold. Dylan Wollenhouse from Minnesota's KARE 11 News found people who are thrilled about the chill.
Before we balk at the cold,
I'll fire this up and take a little bit to warm it up.
Consider one side that's waited far too long for the freeze to set in.
This is probably the latest to get the houses out that I remember, yeah.
Todd Stoffer's business is the ice in the winter. He owns Set the Hook services and guides ice fishing trips in the West Metro. He was finally able to put his houses out this past weekend on Carson's Bay on Lake Minnetonka, but has already canceled 18 guided trips this year because of the lack of ice, losing out on a few $1,000s.
Well, you take, like last 2 years was a bonus being out at the beginning of December, so it kind of evens out.
With temperatures hovering around zero, it's ideal ice-making weather, making businesses who bank on it happy.
Minnesota has 4 so distinctly defined seasons, and each season has its own business cycle and lifestyle. Yep. And when you take one of those out of there, I mean, that's crushing.
Jim Darlene is with the U.S. Pond Hockey Championships, an event held each year on Lake Nokomis. Never in its 10-year history has it been rescheduled because of the lack of ice until this year. In December, organizers pushed it back 2 weeks to later this month.
I don't know that anybody has looked at more 15-day forecasts in Minnesota than I have, quite frankly. We've had actually an increase in registrations in the last week now that the temperature's gotten to the mentality for pond hockey.
So as the deep freeze moves in,
I think it usually stays running, but it's a little cold.
We may not all welcome it with open arms, but there are those who are happy to hover above or below zero. On Lake Minnetonka, Dylan Wollenhouse, KARE 11 News.
And we got a decent day on Lake Minnetonka. Also, here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, temperatures in the mid-20s, partly cloudy. But notice these clouds over North Dakota. And notice how they're beginning to settle southward. That's in association with the leading batch of the next cold air that's right up here. Notice the spin here in Canada? Just like that. Well, that is going to head southward and spin some cold air into Minnesota. And how about Oklahoma City? 65 degrees outside right now. Cold air on the way. Atlanta, you've got a beautiful day going on. Cold air on the way. New York City, upper 30s, about average. Colder air on the way. Here's the timetable for it. Notice Minneapolis tomorrow, just 22. And then it really gets cold. I tell you, the moisture coming northward, the chance of rain, Chicago, Indianapolis, rain. Cincinnati in the 50s today, rain chances tomorrow. Rain and thunder showers here in Florida. And then here we go. You ready for these numbers? 0 for a high temperature on Saturday. Chicago 23. Here on the East Coast, we're still hanging on to mild weather, but uh-oh, here comes Sunday. Bang, we're down, huh? 58 in Dallas. Look at the high temperature in Minneapolis on Sunday. 7 below. While storms are making weather news in Florida and rain and snow in the Northwest, it's the cold air mass here that spreads east. Chicago 10. Monday, Boston 27, Atlanta about 12 below average. Your only places for warm weather would be what? Phoenix, if we call 69 warm, and Atlanta and Dallas and Houston also in the 60s. And there's a look at the rest of the 7-day forecast, my friend, as we toss to your local on the 8th, followed by your winter weather update.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls. And you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
A cold can make you miserable. Luckily, Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Cough Liquid Gels rush liquid fast relief to your tough cold symptoms. Fast, powerful liquid gels from Alka-Seltzer Plus.
We know you have a morning routine. We have one too. 7 days a week. AMHQ is right here and weather ready.
We want to show you all the cool things that's going on in the weather.
A lot of people traveling, but we'll keep an eye on it for you.
So start your morning routine with Jim Cantori, Stephanie Abrams, Jan Carfagna, and the rest of AMHQ.
It is a team here at the Weather Channel, and an awesome team at that.
Let's get right to what you want, and that is the weather.
AMHQ, every morning starting at 5 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 48 degrees under sunny skies. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 32. Winds south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, rain developing Friday night, rain changing to snow. Low 32. Chance of precipitation 70%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If my hands are dried and cracked, I can't do my job efficiently.
My hands are dry from washing.